Hey, what's going on, everybody? Steve here, Rake and Profit over at rakeandprofit.com. Coming back to you with another video. Happy Friday. It's a chilly, cold, brisk, I don't know if that's the right word, day in Connecticut right now. I think it's about like 35, 36 degrees outside right now. Inside my truck, just got a nice little coffee, and I wanted to make this video because I've been going through some stuff personally. Got a lot of things going on in my life right now with health goals, fitness, business. I'm moving to Miami. There's a lot of different things I'm having to do right now, and I've felt extremely stressed out, overwhelmed at times. I've lacked motivation, and there's a lot of times in my life where I feel like quitting, I feel like giving up, I feel like just throwing in the towel. And I feel like a lot of people who I meet, and even folks who watch a lot of influencers or talking heads on YouTube, they think that everyone on YouTube and Facebook and all these influencers have it all figured out, and they never go through challenges and they never go through struggles. And that's not true at all, right? We all go through challenges and struggles on all different levels, right? And a lot of us, even myself, and we look at people on TV or celebrities and we think everything is perfect, everything is great. And that's not the case. We all have challenges. We all feel like quitting. We all feel like giving up. We all feel like throwing in a towel at times. And I just want to share some strategies for how I get out of a funk, how I get out of a super negative mindset. And I was in one yesterday. That's why I'm making this video. So yesterday, I kind of freaked out. I slightly had a panic attack. I was feeling overwhelmed. There's been some challenges that I've been going through, some growing pains personally, as I attack these goals in 2020. So when you set new goals, when you set new horizons, and you want to create more or attract bigger business, or you want to take your health to the next level, or you want to move from where you are, or you want to do things that push you, that are scary, it's going to bring a new set of challenges every single time. And sometimes your body just shuts down, your mind shuts down, and you've got to find a way to get through that. So I'm going to be sharing some tips and strategies based on what I've been going through. I would take this and parallel it to your life. You could apply this to your eBay business. You could apply it to your Amazon business, so on and so forth. But when you feel like quitting, when you feel like giving up, when you feel so stressed out that you just don't know how to do it, you have to realize that you're in a negative state. Whenever you're in a super negative state, or you're stressed out, or you're bitching and you're whining and you're just, we all know what it's like when, we feel on fire, we feel amazing, everything is, you ever have those times where you feel good, you look good, you make quick decisions, there's no anxiety, it's just boom, 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 you know exactly what to do. You're in a great, powerful state. Other times when you're going through stuff and maybe you're failing on your nutrition plan, you're not working out like you should, you're being lazy in your business, there's some things going on in your business that you're worried about, you're stressed out about. So for me, one of the things that I've been kind of stressing out about is the eBay business in the warehouse, because I've been having to set up all these systems to work in place as I leave to Miami. So me managing a warehouse 1,000 miles away brings a lot of stresses, and there's a lot of I'm not going to get into all the details right now, but there's a lot of things that have been kind of freaking me out about it that I've been working through. But you got to realize when you're in a positive state, that's when you want to make big decisions. That's when you want to really put yourself out there and go for it, and communicate with people and strategize and do your thing. When you're in a positive state, you're going to have great things that happen. When you're in a negative state, you've got to understand you're just going to attract more negative into your life. So anytime you're feeling like I was yesterday, you've got to find a way to get out of that negative state, okay? Being in a negative state is just going to bring more negative in. Making decisions on a negative state, when you're in a negative state, making decisions when you're only on a couple hours of sleep, making decisions when you're feeling like crap, when you're not in the mood, when you're not super motivated. That might be a little different, not super motivated, but if your state is really bad, you got to get out of it. So there's a lot of different ways that you can get out of a negative state. Yesterday for me, what helped me a lot was talking to one of my coaches, okay? So if you're ever in a negative state, try to get around people who are on another level than you, that are on another frequency as you. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people who are going to be in our lives who are going to love to come out of the woodwork when things are going bad, and that's because people love to make themselves feel better. So that's why people love to gossip. They like to, all of a sudden, you ever have something really bad happen in your life, and then all of a sudden all these friends and family, they're there for you. That kind of sounds a little bit wrong, but people love to gossip. People like to be there when there's a lot of negativity going on. But you got to get yourself out of that state. So get around positive people. Get around people who are going to lift you up. Get yourself a coach. Get around people who are going to push you and challenge you. Exercise, work out, get your mind sharp, meditation, going for a walk. There's a lot of different things that you can do to get yourself out of that negative state. But you got to understand, getting out of that negative state is huge. That's the biggest thing. So if you have a lot of bad things that are happening in your life, a lot of that comes down to your state. So I want to know in the comments right now, what do you guys do to get out of a super negative state? What do you do? If you're in a really bad state, if you're not feeling good, if you're stressed out, if you're complaining, if you're gossiping, what do you do to get out of that negative state? Knock and Roll says, gym, work out a bad state. Yeah, going to the gym is a great strategy for getting out of that negative state for sure. Pray. Lupe says pray. And that could go along the lines of meditation as well. Maybe even yoga, taking a walk, spending time by yourself. What's up, Junkman? Cajun Root says, I like to watch positive people and pray. So we got another pray and positive people. So listening to positive YouTube videos. If you don't have positive people in your life in the physical form, YouTube videos are great. Podcasts are great. There's all different types of books that you can read, so on and so forth. Ooh, this is a good one from Betty in Indiana. Write it out, dump it out. Yeah, so if you feel like quitting, if you feel like giving up, if you feel like, you know what, there's just no end in sight, all I'm seeing is the darkness, I don't know how to get to the light, sometimes it's best to dump it all out on a piece of paper. Write down all the issues, all the challenges. Laugh, another great one. Watch a funny movie, do something to laugh, get around people that get you in a really good mood. Junkman says, change your latitude to a sunnier state, maybe Hawaii, maybe Miami. Phyllis says, hang out with positive friends to lift your mood. Jesus says, I like to watch older TV shows like I Love Lucy. A lot of great tips coming in. Meditation, reading scriptures, getting into jujitsu. Yeah, so our mind is linked heavily to our body. So increasing our physiology, working out, jujitsu, meditation, deep breathing, Wim Hof. You could go through a Tony Robbins priming exercise on YouTube. These are all going to get you out of that state. So I'm spending a lot of time on this right now because if you feel like quitting, if you feel like giving up, if you feel like, you know what, I don't know how I'm going to figure out this warehouse situation. I don't know how I'm going to figure out this move to Miami. I've been struggling on my diet for the last 3 weeks and my coach, is disappointed in me and I'm disappointed in myself. I don't know how to get out of that state. You got to remember, the state, you got to get out of that before you make the transition. So once you transition out of that state, now we start talking about some of these things right now that I'm going to get into, okay? Number one, a lot of times we feel like quitting and giving up and we feel overwhelmed because we have too much on our plate. There's a really good book I recommend. It's called The One Thing. I forget who the author is. But a lot of times in life, we're focusing our energy on too many different things. And a lot of times what happens is we never really get good at something. We never put the energy into that thing because to get a, for example, to use a metaphor, to have a plant to grow, right? You got to plant the seed, you got to water it, you got to spend time on it, you got to nurture it, you got to pull out the weeds, you got to spend that time and energy on that plant, on that tree, or on that vegetable, whatever it is you're growing as this metaphor. If you neglect it, it's never going to grow, it's going to die. So sometimes you got to take a look at your business. Maybe you feel like giving up on your eBay business, and you're going to say, all right, well, maybe I'm not having success because I'm focusing on Poshmark and eBay and Amazon and Mercari and Facebook Marketplace. And what if I just cut out a couple things, right? You ever heard of Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule? A lot of times 20% of your actions are going to equate to 80% of your results. Look at your business right now and ask yourself, what are the 100% of the things I'm doing? What are the 10 things I'm doing right now? And what are the 1 to 2 to 3 that are producing the most results? So in my business right now, I could already think of 10 things I'm doing and about 6 that I should probably drop. So yesterday I actually dropped a couple of projects that I was working on. They did align with my goals, they did align with my vision, but they were bringing on too much stress at this moment, considering what I'm doing, and I'm moving, and I'm taking on these big fitness and health and salsa goals and all these different things. So you got to ask yourself, what are some things that I can drop? Prioritize your actions, prioritize your business. Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule, very, very important. A lot of times we want to quit, we want to give up, we're overwhelmed because we're taking on too much and we're doing things that aren't producing the results that we want, okay? So quit things that don't matter. Quit things that don't matter. Junkman says, Dave Ramsey says it's dumb to be a long-distance landlord. Well, Dave Ramsey says a lot of things that I agree with and a lot of things that I don't agree with. Dave Ramsey is mostly talking to, how do I say it in a politically correct way, the average person who is going to do average things and screw up like the average person does in America, right? That probably didn't come off too politically correct. But Dave Ramsey, his audience isn't necessarily like the business folks like us, I believe. I don't know. I love Dave Ramsey. I agree with a lot of stuff he says, but a lot of his foundational stuff is just, it's very simplistic. It's good for the masses, but I don't think it's good for everybody. I know plenty of people who are having success as a long-distance landlord, but it's definitely more challenging. We're not going to disagree. It's a lot more challenging being a long-distance landlord, so on and so forth. Coaches, get yourself a coach. If you can't afford a coach, watch the YouTube videos. There's free mentors online. Anyways, there's coaches, there's mentors online. Add value in Facebook groups, in the YouTube comments, build relationships with people, because you can actually build yourself a little private mastermind, right? So imagine having a mastermind of people that you trust, that you like, who are aligned with the same goals and your vision. And when you hit these hiccups, when you feel like quitting, when you feel like giving up, you have your weekly mastermind group, and you bring to the attention of the group that, hey, I feel like quitting. This is what I'm going through. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I don't know how to manage my employees. They're not showing up for work. I'm having a hard time getting more products. You bring that to the mastermind, and then you brainstorm it with people, right? You brainstorm it with people who are on your same frequency or even on another level than you, and you start to focus on, and this is what I want to transition into now, focus on the solution. So many times we feel like quitting and giving up because we're focusing on the problem. We're focusing on the problem. I want to know in the comments right now, what's a challenge or a struggle that you're going through right now in your eBay business or your Amazon business or your reselling business? I want to know, what's something that you're struggling with? Is it finding enough profitable inventory? Is it bookkeeping? Is it finding a CPA? Are you stressed out because you know taxes are coming and you're not sure, what's going to happen? You didn't save enough money. You're stressed out. Am I going to get sued? Am I going to get audited? Maybe you're stressed out about that. Maybe you're having a hard time with employees, managing employees, and they're looking for other jobs, and you need them there Monday through Friday, and you're struggling with that. Maybe it's a death pile, like Junkman says. You're buying. You're so addicted to buying, but you're really having a hard time getting the listings done. Focus on the solution. What is the solution if you have a death pile? What is the solution? The solution is listing your items. So let's reverse engineer. How do we list items? We got 500 items in our death pile. Let's put a plan together, right? Maybe you're only listing 3 times a week and you're doing 10 or 20 listings a time. Let's break it down. Let's do five times a week, but let's not overwhelm ourselves. Let's say we're going to dedicate 2 hours a day, 5 to 6 times a week. You're going to double your listings instantly, but you've got to stick to it. You've got to be disciplined. The solution or the problem in having a death pile is you're addicted to going to thrift stores. You're going to thrift stores, you're going to auctions, you're going to garage sales, you're buying. You're just spending more and more. It's getting more organized. The problem's getting bigger and bigger because you're focusing on how much you don't want to spend money at the thrift store. You're focused on, what if I'm missing out on the deals? It's all a mindset shift. Let's focus on the solution. And let's think about the solution, right? Let's think about what's going to happen when we start listing more. Start listing more, you're going to have more items available for sale. You're going to start having more sales. You're going to have more money coming in. You're going to be able to save some money. Maybe you're going to be able to go on vacation. Maybe you're going to be able to take your husband or wife out to dinner a couple times a week because you have that extra money now. I'm just throwing out different situations, but focus on the solution and not the problem. And dedicate time to the solution. Once you figure out, you know, the 80-20 rule, and all right, I'm doing these 8 things in my business. I got to cut out Facebook Marketplace. I got to cut out Craigslist. It's causing too much stress. People aren't showing up. I need to focus on my eBay business, or I got to focus on my FBA business. Once you figure out what that is, get yourself a coach, get yourself a mastermind, surround yourself with like-minded people, because once you figure out your vision and you want to quit and you give up and you have all these positive people around you, you become who you surround yourself with. You are the average of the 5 people you hang out with most. So if you have great coaches or on another level, another frequency than you got great people in your life who are aligned with your values and your goals, and they're running the same business as you. When you have a struggle, a challenge such as tax challenge or a bookkeeping challenge or a death pile challenge, or maybe you get suspended on Amazon, you've got that circle, you've got those people there for you, right? So that's really, really important. And like I said before, guys, the biggest thing we all need to focus on, and I'm saying this to myself, like I'm looking at the camera, looking at myself like, Steve, listen to your own advice. You gotta be in a great, beautiful, an amazing state every single day. Does that mean you're not gonna go through shit? Does that mean you're never gonna feel upset and negative and you're always gonna feel amazing and positive? Not at all. But when you start feeling depressed, when you start feeling overwhelmed and you start feeling stressed out, and you're envisioning the worst case scenarios and the business shutting down and the liabilities and the issues and the challenges and all these things, that's fine. It's normal. These things your brain are doing, they're doing it to keep you safe, but you don't got to live in that place of fear. You don't have to live in a place of always, thinking about and worrying about and being stressed out about the worst thing happening all the time. Be aware of it. Plan, surround yourself with good people, but get yourself out of that negative state. Go hit the gym, work out, go do some jujitsu, do some salsa dancing, get around some positive people, meditate, practice yoga, the Wim Hof Breathing Exercise, amazing. Look that up on YouTube. It's a 15-minute video, Wim Hof Breathing Exercise. Absolutely beautiful. I just got done with the Tony Robbins priming exercise. You could do it in your car. You could do it in your living room. That took about 15 minutes this morning. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Get yourself out of that negative state, because again, when you're in a negative state, when you're feeling like crap, when you're gossiping, when you're worrying, when you're, focused on the problem, you're never gonna get yourself out of that hole that you're in, right? So Eric says, stay positive and you'll get the things done. So, for me, I've been a little stressed out because there's been a lot going on in my life lately, guys. I've got some really big health and fitness goals. I've got some big goals with salsa dancing. Obviously, we've got some big goals with the YouTube channel. We've got the warehouse. I'm moving to Miami. So there's been a lot of stress of trying to manage my nutrition plan, my working out, the salsa dancing, running a YouTube channel, running my e-commerce business, having a life. Sometimes it's overwhelming, but you got to ask yourself, okay, what's most important to me? What's most important? Let's write down all the things that we're doing in our life right now. And what are the things that are stressing us out the most that don't matter the most? Let's start to eliminate. Let's start to cut off the dead weight, and let's focus on the things that matter most, right? So Mr. Exquisite says, I'm late, but what's up, Steve? Hey, I'm here just doing my thing. Getting out some content that hopefully helps some of you guys and gals from overcoming any of your challenges, or if you feel like quitting or if you feel like giving up, just know a lot of that is in your mind. Atomic Habits by James Clear. Check it out. Lily, I don't know if you're in my car right now, but this is actually the book that I received as a Christmas gift. So I started reading it yesterday. So yeah, James Clear, Atomic Habits. This guy's story was absolutely amazing. James Clear. So when I think he was 5 years old, he was, I don't know where he was, at school or something, and someone was swinging, I think, a metal bat or something along those lines, and it flew out of the kid's hand and it crushed his face. And it broke his nose, it messed him all up, and I believe he was in the hospital. He had to relearn everything, and he had a dream of being a professional baseball player, and he used to be a really good baseball player when he was a little kid. I believe, hopefully I'm not slaughtering that story, but it goes on to talk about how he he went to he wanted to be a baseball player, and in high school he got cut from the team, and he got dropped down to like junior varsity, and finally his senior year he made it as he made it on the varsity baseball team just by working hard, but he wasn't even that good. He hardly even played. And then he worked hard, kept practicing, kept focusing on small little habits, and he made the college baseball team. But again, he was a freshman, he wasn't starting, he wasn't really doing very well, and he kept focusing on small little habits, small little wins. And by the time it was the end of his college career, he was like an All-American. He was one of the best baseball players. He never ended up going pro, but it was pretty inspiring story in the beginning of that book. So Atomic Habits by James Clear. This is cool too. I just got this for Christmas. It is a 1 gallon water jug. 1 gallon water jug. And it says 7 a.m. good morning, 9 a.m. you've got it, 11 a.m. remember your goal, 1 p.m. go for it, 3 p.m. keep drinking, 5 p.m. never give up, so on and so forth. So drink water. That's another big thing. I've noticed that if I over caffeinate on coffee, drink way too much coffee, don't drink enough water, if you're not eating healthy, that'll get you in a really negative state quick. So just remember, don't forget, if you feel like quitting, if you feel like giving up, you don't have to. There may be some scenarios for some folks where it's time to quit and it's time to give up, and there might be things going on in your life where you have to temporarily quit. But for 99% of folks out there, because I've talked to a lot of you guys, hundreds of thousands of you guys over the years, most of the time, it's just a battle in our mind. We do not have to quit. We do not have to give up. A lot of times we just need to take a break for a day or two, meditate, walk, work out, change our diet, get some sleep, get ourselves back into a powerful, positive mindset to make some better decisions. Do not make big decisions in your life when you're on very little sleep. Do not make big decisions in your life when you're super negative and you're in a horrible state and you're bitching and you're whining and you're complaining. Do not make big decisions in that state. If you get anything out of this video, do not make big decisions in that state. Don't. Because when you're in that state, you're going to make really bad decisions that you're going to regret 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 years down the road. Okay, so I want to wish you guys a happy new year. Hopefully you're all doing amazing. I got to get over to the gym right now. Much love, much respect, and I appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.